I know all of us want to see it and none of us have. And Mark ended up, like, after I thought of it and before now, Mark, I saw you add it to your watch list
Oh no!
on Letterboxd, and I was like so psyched that we could all watch it, and now we can't. I was going to pick the 1985 film After Hours.
I literally just told Luke that was gonna be a good pick for him. I just told Luke that.
I've been waiting for 2 months to drop that little one on you, and now it's gone.
But you have another one.
I have another one.
Give it until August 1st. I think sometimes we found that like when the month changes,
yeah.
Well, that's
on
why
like Tubi.
I was debating on whether I should even say it or not, but I was like, knowing me, I'll like wait, and then it still won't be available for like 4 years, so I'll never pick
like
it.
Mulholland Drive. Sadly.
Oh, that's not anywhere either.
You can't even rent it.
I have to buy the Shitron version. I've just been like waiting to do it. You can't even buy it. You can only rent it.
You don't have to buy the Shitron version.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna buy one, it's gonna be a Shitron version.
Why?
Because they got 4K and.
I don't care. I don't know what that means. I've never known what that means.
It looks better, and you could have cool cases. And on Blue Velvet, you have like pamphlets or like
that was cool.
They could talk about the movie. That's what's gonna be, and that's what I need.
Okay.
I had a trivia question that asked me what color Blue Velvet was, and I thought it was trying to trick me because it was blue. Yep. I was like, what?
Interesting.
Mark, you sounded like really quiet to me.
Sick angle, Mark.
Thanks.
It's a good angle.
Is that a Diet Coke I see?
It is a Diet Coke.
Ad.
It's been real bad. My Diet Coke addiction has been real bad.
Show Kelly what you got for Trini that has a 3 and a hand on it.
Oh, I think I already showed it.
Never mind.
Wait, is my microphone just really quiet?
Maybe. A 3 and a hand? Was that from Gravity Falls?
Yes, Mark got. It's basically like Twin Peaks or the X-Files
I did not know
thing
about
that you got me, Matt.
Oh.
It's basically that for Gravity
Wait,
Falls.
can you
sick.
hear?
I see it back
better.
there.
Yeah, yeah, Mark, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Am I loud?
To see it?
Keep talking.
Am I loud?
No. Oh.
Oh no.
Am I allowed?
Are you allowed?
Please grant me permission.
What's really cool?
Sir.
Wait, do you have that, Kelly?
No, I don't.
It, like, halfway through the book, it changes to what Dipper writes, so then it's different
That's
font,
awesome.
and it's stuff that was in the show, but everything, like, yeah, so it's cool.
I love that.
We haven't really read most of it, other than when we looked at it first, but it's, like, top of our nightstand. Also, like, let me grab it real quick.
I need to get a notebook.
Uh-oh.
I wrote down notes.
Oh.
So it has a slip cover to, like where it says Gravity Falls and everything, obviously to promote it, but like if you take it off, then it's supposed to be like exactly like it, where like it's just the hand. If you take off the slip cover.
Great. Oh.
And here, let me show you.
Trust no one. Remember that?
Yo.
Maybe that was X-Files.
Boy, do I.
Hold on, let me get to the part because it's the end. It was technically the end. Is the part of the map.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then
that's so cool.
Right around here. Where is it? Yeah, because like your new author, and it's Dipper. His birth. He talks about his birthmark. Then like the zombies. And
do you guys know what Dipper's first name is?
Mason.
Hirsch did. Okay. Yeah.
He
did reveal it.
Yeah.
They don't in the show at all.
Oh, they do mention that it's a nickname.
Dipper.
But they don't say what it is.
Because of his birthmark. Because the Little Dipper, but it's Mason.
I remember
Mason and Mabel.
that. I remember explaining that to Katie, that his name was Dipper because he has a birthmark in the shape of the Big Dipper. I was like, this sounds weird.
And
that's why he's Little Dipper. Yeah. That's awesome, Mark.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. We need to go through it. I think it's. Oh, and this is the desk of Fiddleford, the H. McDuckett.
Oh.
So. Hell yeah.
Wow, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
He could also been named Ford.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Oops. Now you're thinking. You're asking the right questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they find out that the author of the journal's name is Ford, and is that why they think it's Fiddle Ford? I know it's other reasons why they think it's McGucket, but is that also
I don't
part
think
of
so.
it?
I don't think
Back in
remember.
Into the Bunker, remember that episode?
Oh boy.
my god.
Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill going wild.
Luke, how long do you have?
8:45.
Okay.
Aw.
Okay.
Hard out. So we'll monitor.
We'll be
The
fine.
theater is like 20 minutes away.
Okay, well, good thing because we're starting with you.
Huh?
With your
Recap.
recap.
Fucking idiot, go.
You know, 10 minutes
Media
before the podcast,
hostile.
I forgot what movie we were doing.
Yes.
Piece of shit.
Solid. Solid.
Challengers. Movie I picked. Very good. Very good.
I
Kind
think you meant the recap.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Okay, the recap. I'm almost done with The Searcher by Tana French, that author that yeah. And then Doctor Who. Lots of Doctor Who. I finished season 1. I'm now in David Tennant era.
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
It's David Tennant and Stillrose. I didn't know if she was gonna change as well. So it's pretty cool to see her with a different actor. Pretty crazy to see Christopher Eccleston morph into David.
Oh, I totally forgot Eccleston was Doctor Who.
It was crazy, and I'm sad that I won't be able to see Christopher anymore. But David's very good.
David.
I think he might be my favorite Doctor.
You've seen two.
I've seen two.
You've
but
seen two.
from what I've heard, I
You
can
can't
only
do that.
see-
You always do that.
My
You're
guess.
influenced by him.
My guess is maybe David might be my favorite Doctor, but my favorite team up is Matt Smith, Karen Gillan, Arthur Darvill era.
You're just making
That's-
assumptions. You
that's my
haven't seen any
prediction.
of it.
Did you know Arthur Darvill, who plays Father Paul from Broadchurch, is in Doctor Who as
Yeah,
well?
A famous
He's like a main
comedian.
character, with Karen Gillan as the other companion to Matt Smith. I didn't know this. So there are 3 Doctor Who people in Broadchurch. 2 of them are doctors, and the other one's Arthur.
The other one's Arthur. Okay.
It's Jodie, because I'm excited for all of them. Okay, anyway, those are the TV shows. That's it for TV.
No, it's not.
Wow.
You fucking piece of shit. I'm so mad at you.
I meant on my own. That's where my mind was, on my own.
Uh-huh.
With Kelly, Interview with the Vampire season 1.
The whole season.
Very good. I recommend. Not a surprise. And Peep Show. The best show ever made. Guess
How
who was
far
in
are you?
Doctor Who? Patterson Joseph.
Of
No
course.
way. He's in
That guy.
everything.
But he
Oh.
was in it. That's it for TV. Movies, I watched the Spider-Verse movies with
Mhm.
Kelly and Mom and Dad.
Nice. Which one do you like
and
more?
then Think Across.
I like Across more.
Nice.
But both are 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Good movies.
And is that it for movies? I think that's it. Other than Challengers.
X, Luke.
X.
Last night.
We watched last night to
God.
prepare for Max 16,
Right.
which we will see Saturday.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's it for movies.
Good job.
Okay, I think I'm done.
Nice.
Flawless.
Nice.
Who's next?
I can go because
Yeah.
similar to him. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything.
Well,
hi,
hi,
Sky.
Sky. I didn't even realize you were there.
She
I
kind
didn't
of
hear
blended.
her
Attention
meowing
horror.
once today.
She was
That's 'cause you
sleeping
were there.
almost the
You were
entire
here.
day. I watched it. Okay, you're getting real close. Okay. Well, I watched X with Luke, Trini, and Tori yesterday. Challengers. Yeah, that's it for this week. TV. Luke and I watched House of the Dragon, so we're caught up.
That's what. Oh,
my
that's what I
God.
forgot.
We
That was a really good episode. Very good episode.
Yeah.
I caught up on The Boys today.
Nice.
I had 2 episodes that I need to catch up on, but I'm caught up on that. Trinity and I just finished season 3 of Psych.
Oh.
So we're in the middle of Extradition, British Columbia.
Ah, yes.
So I also watched the first episode of Weird Wonderful World season 3.
Ah.
And the first season, which is only 5 episodes of the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And that was
It was okay.
okay.
It was okay. I watched it 1 episode, but
Odd critique.
I watched 1 episode on the 2003 one, and I think I'd like that one more. And it kind of seems like, well, there's stuff that I wouldn't like. I would want to cross between the 2 of them. It almost feels like they don't have very distinct personalities, like other than Smart, like the main ones that you have, but like nothing else happens, and it's kind of just like whatever they say. Any one of them could have said it, to be honest. And every
just a sign of
episode
it,
is
right?
kind of the same thing, of like Shredder coming back with a new plan, which is fine, but I like it in like the background. So not my favorite thing, but it's like a nice
Scathing
background.
review of the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Someone's got to do it.
It's like almost following the same kind of formula that like He-Man does, where it's like, we're here to fight Skeletor every time. Get used
Yeah,
to it.
it's
you
kind of
know?
like that. It's kind of like, instead of who are they fighting this week, it's what plan has Shredder cooked up this time.
It's kind of
He's
Inspector
their
Gadget,
Joker.
the TV show too. It's just always just Claw.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's all right. I don't know if I'll continue. It's like a background thing. It's like when I cook and stuff. I think that was it for TV. Books. I finished one of my books,
Oh wow. Which one?
The Haunting. I finished.
Oh, right.
Sky. All up in this.
I don't know if
Sky.
you guys, she's like full crouched, like, but she's not all the way on the ground. She's like ready to pounce. Anyway, I finished The Haunting. It was okay. Oh no, the internet.
Can hear us, or they can only hear Mark.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you.
I
can
can
hear
hear you guys again.
Did I hear a bang from his room?
Did he die?
Definitely not. You definitely
Oh
didn't.
hi, there you are.
There was no bang.
I
I
was
was
hearing
just
things.
talking the whole time.
Ah.
If you heard
I
it,
thought I
it's
heard
from
it.
the front room. It's not from
Ah.
me. But the recording got me.
Okay.
Yeah. I finished The Haunting. It was okay. Like, something I didn't want to happen, and then it happened, but it was a fake out, and it was fine that
Oh.
it didn't happen. But overall, I like didn't love how she finished it or her writing style very much.
Yikes.
So like, it was an interesting
Scathing
story.
review.
Scathing review from Mark.
The story that she came up with was interesting enough, but like just not my style very much. And then I started the Institute, but I'm only like
Ooh.
25 pages in. So
That's a good one.
Mom
And-
loves that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I wrote a little bit.
Hey,
this past week.
Nice.
So, and it's not the same story. I'm
Haha.
continuing on a story that I stopped after I wrote the long one, because I immediately started on that and then I got burned, and then I wasn't gonna do it because I was like, it's not good. And then since I started writing again, I was like, oh, let me go back and read it. And then I was like, oh, I liked it more than I expected to, so I started writing on that again. So,
Cool.
um,
Very cool.
and this is a random one, but music, nothing but Chapel Roan.
Fucking love her. I told you.
Nothing, but Luke had showed
I-
me Good
I
Luck
knew
Babe
it.
before, but like, well, that
I-
one can't stop playing. So
Mark, like literally yesterday, I saw under a picture that she posted liked by Mark Thrasher, and I was like, yes, you finally listened to her.
yeah,
'Cause
that's
I knew you would
been
love her.
all. That's basically the entire thing. That and the first like 4 tracks from You're Gonna Hate This, Kelly, though.
Oh god.
So here comes the opposite side.
Every time.
It has to be something else.
And then something you disappoint
Listen.
me by.
Tortured Poets Department, Taylor Swift.
I don't hate.
The first 4 tracks
fine,
I've
it's
liked,
fine.
and it's very different than her other stuff, but it's like the vibe that I like a lot. So it's been that, but mostly Chapel Roan. It's what I've been listening to. So yeah, that's the music update.
Wow. I'm glad. We should start doing music updates.
We should.
I won't have
I feel like I
very many.
mean to, and then I always forget.
Yeah.
But Mark having a music update is
Yeah,
wild.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
Also, everyone knows about the tickets that Mom got, right?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Oh,
So
she
excited.
mentioned that the day after Trinity and I had gotten breakfast. No, the day of. Day before. Either way, we got breakfast, and we were talking about we went to Hamilton, so we were like we should do more of that, even if it is dropping like 150 each, like even to get good seats. Like we live up here, it's a good experience. Like we'd be down to do that. So we were talking about going to Mamma Mia and to Wicked. The day or the day before that Mom texted asking about Mamma Mia. I was like, we were literally just planning on getting
Mind
tickets,
melding.
so
Yep.
that worked out. So
I'm so excited.
Mark, how was this viewing of Hamilton? Those were good seats. You were close.
it was
This your second-
crazy. Yeah, I've watched the Disney one,
Mhm.
the Broadway one from on.
But
Disney.
you saw, but in person we all saw it
Yes,
together.
this is my second one. It was cool because you could actually like hear their voices. However, during
No
like,
way.
rather than like through the speakers, because like they're on the stage and they're projecting so much, you could see so much spit too. So much spit.
yes.
And
It's not. You have to be in the splash zone
Yes.
to feel it.
during the like middle of it before the intermission, you could hear their shoes squeaking too, and I was like, that's because all the spit on the ground. I saw everyone spit.
It was
Yeah.
basically a Gallagher show.
But like, but like, it makes sense. Like, if you're singing for 3 hours, you're gonna have to go backstage and wet your mouth. Like, I'm
Yeah.
getting my throat's dry just talking right here. That
Right.
albeit I haven't drinking any water at all today. I'm dehydrated.
Dehydrated.
But
on. Put the
but
Diet
regar-
Coke away.
no.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's like you would have to wet your mouth, but they're spitting everywhere. The only thing that was like that made these seats were I enjoyed this viewing more in those seats. The only thing that's like the caveat to it is that the speaker is so close, being that close that like
Oh,
when
yeah.
it was poppy songs, like more like music going
That's
on,
the
like,
whole.
but I feel like there's a lot of them that like the music's not as loud. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it was just
Okay.
what there.
Just louder songs.
Yes, it was like the music would overtake and you couldn't hear what they were
Oh.
saying. But I would say there was probably like 3 out of like the 30 plus songs. Like, but during those 3 songs, I didn't hear a single word that they said. So
That's Luke with any song in any
Yeah,
music.
Luke
Correct.
doesn't.
That is correct.
luckily though, those were like none of them were any of my favorites and
Oh.
ones I constantly
You
listen to.
hate Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah, you do.
You
I
know-
don't know why
you
you,
know
saw it
what's-
twice.
You know what's cool was that we had some understudies there that were doing it, which I like because then they get
That's
a
cool.
chance to do it. But
Yeah.
also like we were looking because like one of the I think it was who played Angelica. No, who played Eliza. She's an understudy for Eliza and Angelica, so she can do both parts. And I'm like, how the
Whoa.
fuck can you like? You're
Ow.
insane.
People are talented. People
You're
are talented.
Insane. So she played Eliza there, and both Eliza and Angelica were understudies in that. So I thought that
Oh,
was
wow.
cool because
Good for
they
them.
don't do every performance, obviously. So it was good that they got to do that. So
Yeah,
I
definitely.
really like the guy who played Hamilton in this one too. So he played a little
His
bit
name was
differently.
like something like Lynn.
Yeah, it was
something.
yeah. What-
Weird.
I
From
what?
Weird.
Oh, from Weird.
The Al
Yes.
Yankovic story. You.
Yes, the doctor. I didn't hear what he said. I liked though, like he played Hamilton a little bit differently. Obviously, it's the exact
Oh,
same
yeah.
words, but like different body language. He played it
Yeah.
more like a punk kid in sometimes where he was just
I
like
love
being
that.
he was being kind of tooty, and so like it was different than the last performance and different than the Broadway. So it was
Yeah.
cool just to see like different interpretations, but. All of his friends were even more so like that too, kind of bouncing off his energy. Like they're always like that, but they're all just
Yeah.
so like. One of his friends, not Lafayette, the other one. Oh my god,
Mulligan?
I think so. He was losing his mind like the entire time. on
Did you
stage.
make your very go? Oh yeah, these could be 19-year-olds with
If
the
not-
attitude.
if not like 17 or 16, like the
'Cause
way
that's
they're
how old they were. Yeah.
they were. It was good. So anyway, somebody else.
Ellie?
Okay. I watched the Spider-Verses with mom and dad. This was the first time that mom and dad have seen Across.
Mm. And
And
their
they
thoughts?
love those movies. They love them. And then Luke and I watched Challengers again. Oh, and something I forgot to say last week was that I watched the 1931 Dracula.
Ooh, how'd you feel about it?
It's so quiet.
It's so quiet the whole time. There's like nothing.
like-
There's no sound.
However, ooh, I love Renfield.
Renfield.
I'm
Oh my god.
obsessed with him.
If you
There's-
watch,
I love him so much. If there's one person that gets me, it's RM Renfield.
he absolutely, to quote the children today, he absolutely ate in that movie.
He
And
did
he's in.
Dwight Fry. My
He's-
God.
If you liked him in that, he's in
I-
more of the monster
I
movies.
know,
And you
I
should
know.
watch the ones he's in. He's
I
very
want
good.
to just for him.
He's the best.
Not only am I obsessed with the Dwight Fry's performance of Renfield, but also just the character of Renfield. I love that little freak eating bugs. He gets me like nobody gets me.
Just sucking on a fly. Weirdo.
The big fat juicy spiders. Anyway, so I watched that and it was I mean, scenes without Bella Lugosi or Dwight Fry were so boring.
So
But
boring.
still, it was cool to see it. It's like almost 100 years old.
But what about the pants that one guy was wearing? Do you know what I'm
Jonathan?
talking?
Yes.
Jonathan's
And-
pants were so silly. How
I
are you
do-
supposed to take him serious?
The way that they like figured out too, like for sure that Dracula was a vampire, where it was just like the mirror, and then he just like slapped it away.
Was not trying to be coy or subtle at all.
No. And then okay, I watched an hour of Bram Stoker's Dracula at like 1 in the morning.
Oh my god.
When I should have been watching. Oh, it was way
Inspector
back
Gadget.
in the day. I should have been watching Inspector Gadget, but I watched an hour of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and they made. I'm so sorry. They made Gary Oldman not hot as Dracula, where it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's a crime.
It's
I
a
guarantee.
crime.
I guarantee.
It's
in the
Gary
new-
Oldman.
Yeah, in the
Yes.
new Nosferatu, Count Orlok is gonna be dead sexy, and you
Only
know.
cowards don't want to fuck the original Count Orlok. Coward. Anyway,
That's
I
a quote.
watched an hour of it, and it was so horny, and that's coming from me a little too much. However, Lucy and Mina do kiss while running through a garden while it's raining, so it has something going for it. We'll see if I finish it. So, a bunch of Peep Show with Luke, rewatched the first season of Interview with the Vampire with Luke. Okay, I have, where is it? I have, like 40 pages left of the book. And let me tell you, as soon as they got to Paris, my ass was in it. I had so much more in it once they got to Paris. It also helps that a little freak, who's my favorite character, showed up, who may or may not commit atrocities and only speaks in riddles. Love that
Is he a
guy.
troll?
Gremlin. Anyway, I'm super in it right now, and I only have like 40 pages in the version that I have left, and I'm like in it. I'm at like that part. Is that it? I think that's it. Look how many notes I wrote for challengers, and there's more pages.
God. I will try to make my update quick
You're
so that
good.
we can get to the challengers. Reading, I have taken a break from Dune and have started Jailbird, and I'm about halfway through it. It's really good. I just like Kurt Vonnegut. It's not that the Dune book is bad. This has happened to me with almost every Dune
Yeah.
book. I get about
You
halfway
hate
and go. The only one it didn't happen with was Dune Messiah because it's the shortest one. But
And the
like you
best.
get about halfway through and you're like
What is
underrated.
the best?
People generally accept that. I think the first one.
But
But-
your opinion.
I think it's probably also the first one, but I think Dune Messiah is underrated. And it's probably my second favorite. For TV, caught up on House of the Dragon.
Crazy.
Crazy. I caught up on The Boys today. They're really just not being subtle at all.
But
There-
they
it's-
were they ever like I don't like they were more subtle because like now it's like
So-
verbatim stuff that's happening. But
It's like verbatim where they're like, something is going to happen on January 6th, where I was like, oh,
Yeah.
we're really not being subtle, are we?
Well, and like
which
the
is kind of
guy
funny.
who was wearing the red hat,
Yep.
and it was like a replica almost.
They're-
It just said different words. So
They're name
What if-
checking actual senators.
What if they just like were like, I don't want people who can't read subtext to be fans of this show anymore.
Right. Like, we're
so
really
get
just-
out.
Yeah.
yeah, a bunch
Um,
of comments that I've seen, and even though
Yeah.
I've been trying to avoid them because, you know, how they can get, are just like it took people 4 years to realize they were the butt of the joke, and that's what like
Right.
all those people are freaking out, and it's like. It's always been this way. Like it's literally always
Always.
been a very, very left-leaning show, and that's like the point of it.
It just shows me how media illiterate some people are,
Oh,
and it needs
God,
to be
here we
spelled out for them. No,
For sure.
that's it. That's all I have
That
to
was
say.
stop there.
Yeah, that's not. I'm innocent. Prove it.
Oh,
um,
also, real quick, with House of the Dragon, I
Yeah.
know people are saying like this last episode was crazy. I've thought this whole season has
This
been
whole season is
crazy. Like,
bananas.
it,
Yeah.
but it's crazy with like the way that people felt like with Succession, in the fact of like it doesn't have to be dragons are killing people for me to find it crazy. It's just sometimes like the things that are happening, and so
The things people say.
it's just
Yeah.
to me, I'm like, I've been so invested now.
You're
Like
like,
the
"Whoa."
the high ratings are this episode, but the whole season's been insane to
mhm.
me.
I agree, and I got to give the team props who animates the dragons. I care so
Yeah.
much about these dragons.
Yes.
They're just like animals. They're like, no,
Oh.
they protect them, you know.
Yeah.
I have finished series 8 of Peep Show. I have one season to
You're
go.
on to 9.
I'm in it.
You're in 9?
No, but
Oh.
like I'm in it.
Oh my
I'm
god,
like,
you only have 6 episodes left.
I'm
What are you
sad that I
gonna
only
do
have 6.
without Peep Show? Exactly, you get it.
This is a show that if I would love to rewatch with all of you. There's so many quotable things. I just sent Kelly just a picture out of the blue of Mark
Yes.
Corrigan.
Oh my god, an honorable man. I'm sorry I didn't respond to that.
It didn't necessitate a
Need-
response.
yeah,
I just
it's
needed you to
just
see that I had gotten
An
to that.
honorable man. Good. Luke and I just watched my favorite episode of the entire show, which is Nether Zone in season 7.
Oh,
That's my favorite episode.
so if the men came,
If the men came with their
You know,
guns,
if the men came,
with their guns.
Mark knew exactly what he meant.
Yeah,
He didn't need to
the
explain.
men. It's my favorite. We just got there. So Luke is almost done with 7.
Oh my god, you might even
Yeah.
catch up to me. I'm still watching Broadchurch. I'm 3/4 of the way through season 2 now. I'm making progress. I finished season 2 of Staged today.
Oh, baby.
The guest stars they had, this was insane this season.
Mhm.
Right,
It's
I
cool
just-
because you're watching Broadchurch season 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like in the middle of it when I got to that episode, and I was like, oh yeah, hey.
Yeah.
I also watched the first episode of Fallout.
Hey.
Um,
Ugh.
which was good. And I'm gonna keep watching more, but I've been really into the British shit right now, which makes it sound like I'm doing drugs, but
The
that's not what I-
British shit.
yeah, I'm
That's
really in
just
it.
like-
I really feel like for
Uh,
Fallout, you need no context from the games, which is good.
no,
Like
I mean,
I don't
I
have
played
context.
Fallout 4 like one time for
Yeah.
like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
think
all the
it was my
context I
copy. I think it was my copy on the
Yeah,
PS5. Yeah,
Probably.
Makes sense.
I do remember the trailer for it when they were playing that Dion song where he goes, "Well, I'm the type of guy who will know."
I don't
And that's-
remember
I always
that.
think about that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's called The Wanderer. It's good.
Mhm.
Oh, like
But
the
I'll get-
ghoul.
I'll get to music updates. Like the Google. Movies. Katie and I rewatched Bottoms, as we often do,
Yes.
because it is one of our favorite movies of all
Well,
time.
it's the best movie
Good,
ever made.
Good.
Uh,
Yeah,
We also
yeah.
tried. We watched the first 20 minutes of the new Mean Girls, and we didn't like it. So the next day we watched the original Mean Girls, and it felt good.
I wish I
um,
would have done that when I watched it.
It was just we knew both of us were like we're both not feeling it, huh? Yeah.
You shouldn't finish movies you're not liking. Turn it
we've
off.
we started doing that.
Good.
We give it about like 15, 20 minutes, and it's like, if both of us are like not in it, or if either of us are not in it,
If you
pull the plug.
want to stick with it to see, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But don't
Yeah.
don't ever feel like you have to finish a movie.
It's been a good policy. It makes
Yeah.
us much happier.
Can you hear Sky
Um,
screaming, Luke?
No.
Is she coming through the microphone for either of you?
No.
No,
Okay,
she
good.
is not. Katie and I then the next day or 2 days later rewatched Coraline, which
Ooh.
is a stone cold masterpiece of animation, stop
Yep.
motion animation. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Then I rewatched Challengers alone at home on a Tuesday
In the middle of the day.
in the middle of the day,
Yeah.
which I felt like I should have closed the blinds. I was like, I don't think this is illegal.
And that happens sometimes where it's like, oh, I gotta close the blinds. Like, depending
yeah,
on what I'm
I-
Oh my
watching.
gosh, guys,
Prolonged.
the Handmaiden, watching at Kim's house.
Close the blind.
Oh gosh, close
You've talked about
Because it also goes out into the street, and anybody can see it walking.
Everyone
It's like
in the
late at
street.
night too, so like nobody's gonna be out. But I was like,
Hey, it's a little
was-
treat. Going for a walk.
You know,
Seeing.
it was less like I didn't care if people saw it. It's just like watching it in the cold light of day felt wrong and not how it was intended to be viewed.
Yeah.
And then we rewatched La La Land 2 days ago because that's also one of our favorites. Did I mention that we watched Tick Tick Boom also
Yes.
Yes.
last time? Okay. Lastly, music update. Mark, Katie and I a while ago listened to like half of the Tortured Poets Department, and we couldn't decipher each song from the next.
That's fair.
So we were.
That's how
We
all of
were-
her music sounds to me.
We
Luke's hiding
are-
because he knows we're gonna get murdered.
But see, for me, I like the way it sounds, and by it I mean
Okay,
the album,
okay.
which is every song.
Yeah.
So it's a good album for me.
That's fair. We gave it a shot, but we
Yeah.
were like, that was another one where like halfway through we're like, let's just call it. We're
Yeah.
not. Some of the things that I've been listening to a lot lately, I make a playlist like each month of like the songs that are like in my head constantly, so I can just go to that playlist. Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty. You guys ever heard of it? It's got one of the nastiest saxophone I've ever heard in a song. It was in The Boys. They used it in The Boys, and we had just seen it in something else also, and which made me look it up. It makes me think of the guy from The Lost Boys. That's
Yes,
what it
of
makes me
course.
think of. Like when he's
Which-
playing, I was like,
Oh, the saxophone.
The
Got it.
saxophone guy.
Sorry, I blacked out.
Just heard Lost Boys.
Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth.
I'm
Great.
walking on the sun.
Nope.
Stop.
Spot on.
Night Moves by Bob Seger.
Night moves.
These
Oh,
are all ones that I can highly recommend. Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, we've been
Oh my
listening
God!
to.
Sitting
and
on
she
the
laughed
dock
every
of the bay. I know that one.
And then I had to show Katie. I had to show Katie the state sketch about
Yeah.
it, and she's like, "What is this from?" And I was like, "Don't worry."
Only the best show ever made.
Yeah.
I'm-
Okay.
I'm the only one here who's listened to Brat, aren't I?
I know what that is now.
Okay, but no one
I-
else has
I
listened.
don't
to
know
it.
what that is. No.
Okay, it's fine. Continue.
Also, they finally put the School of Rock soundtrack on Apple Music.
It
that
wasn't
I've been
before.
always looking for. This is like a new
Wow.
development, like a month or two ago, and so I have specifically 2 songs from it that I love to listen to, that I've loved since I was a kid, and so now I'm psyched that I can.
Is
Good.
one of them the last one? The
Yes.
last one? Yeah, of course.
And the other one is the opening one of the movie that he's playing with No Vacancy when they go into the bar. And that's it.
Nice.
Sick.
Okay,
Are you
challenge.
guys ready for challengers? Okay, Luke. Luke, you go. Talk about challengers. You picked this movie.
Oh. I'm gonna throw up.
Do it, bitch, pussy.
Popeye's come back to haunt you.
Okay.
Actual?
Challengers. No. But
Do I need to get the Pepto Bismol?
no. Challengers. Made in 2024.
Oh my god.
I'm
starring
bored.
Zendaya.
Matt, is that cucumber?
Okay.
It is.
That
that
Gatorade sucks ass.
it's
Wait, what is
terrible.
You disgusting. Why are you
What is it?
drinking it?
Wait,
Cucumber lime, because we wanted to try it, so I bought a 6-pack, and both of us were like, "This is not our favorite," but we just
I
have
gotta
it. So
try it.
This is the last one. I've just been drinking it until it's gone, because I don't
I
want to
gotta
waste
try it.
money.
Cucumber
I don't
lime.
like it very much though.
Cucumbers don't taste like anything, so it's just
No,
water and lime.
it does. It has a very.
It tastes like it very distinctly tastes like cucumber.
Yeah.
I don't like cucumber that much. so
Cucumbers. Actually, I haven't had that Gatorade. I don't know if it's
You're
gross.
you're a liar. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went to. Oh shoot!
Mob mentality.
I
Sometimes it's fun.
went to Jamba this past like a few months ago, and they had a new watermelon, like flavored
Oh.
Jamba.
Yeah.
Tried it. Tasted just like the rind of a watermelon.
Aw.
It was the most disgusting thing. I did not finish it, so I kind of get
Oh,
scared.
like that.
It just tastes like the
like
green part.
skin, the
It just
rind,
that's
yeah.
what
Like
it tastes like. They blended was just the green
shell?
part. Yeah,
Like
the
the
shell.
membrane?
Yes.
Yes, the shell and the,
The
membrane
watermelon
of the
shell.
water. Jesus.
Ew.
It was nasty.
Disgusting.
Sorry, Luke, continue with
Can
your
we talk about
2024
challengers
challengers.
now?
Yes.
Starring Zendaya.
Okay.
Very good. Very good movie. I should have seen in theaters because of the score.
Yes, you should have.
Well, 'cause
It was
also-
so good in theaters.
It's like dialogue quiet. The score, the last thing you ever heard in your life at home. So in the theater, what was it like?
Well, okay, you know I have a problem with movies being too loud in the theater. This is one where actually in the theater I felt like it was perfect.
Yeah.
But it felt loud at
see.
home. Yeah.
Well, I like when movies are deafening. So
Yes. Okay, good.
very good. Very very
Because
good.
it like puts you in it. Like the
Right.
music is the other is the fourth.
Well, the music.
Music is a character.
Is
is
there
the-
fourth?
Yeah.
What I love about the movie is that New York is like its
It's
own
like a
character.
yes. Tennis is like its own character in this movie.
Guys, I realized that They Came Together is one of my favorite movies. Actually,
I knew it. I
It's
knew it. That's why I
great movie.
wanted to show
I
it
think
to
I
you.
Oh, yeah,
actually like it more than Wet Hot, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
Sorry, whoa, that actually like
Guys,
I feel like I got
I
stabbed
laughed.
the first second.
The second time we watched it after I like knew the
The
jokes, I laughed
Bubby
harder
scene
at it.
alone put it above.
So I
See,
think we need to rewatch.
Wet Hot doesn't have a Bubby
will-
scene.
I will.
Ask Journey if she wants to rewatch.
She
Mark,
actually
I
said
want
she
you to know-
would. I asked her if she ever would. She said she would if we like
skip the Bubby scene?
skip right.
It's essential to the plot. Mark, I want you to know that when Luke and I first watched They Came Together, when the bartending scene came up, I went, Mark will like this movie.
That was actually one of the
Actually,
parts that I
First
warned
indicator,
Trini about because I knew she'd
First-
hate it.
first indicator that this was about to be an amazing movie was at the very beginning, Paul Rudd putting his entire mouth
Yeah.
over the rim of
the
the
wine glass. That was during the normal like beginning conversation.
Yes, that's my favorite part.
My favorite line, Kelly, is at the end when he said, "I told you it was gonna be a crazy day." When he never said that earlier in the movie, and that's the only time he ever speaks to the camera.
Crazy.
It's like, what are you talking about? That's my.
I need to rewatch it so fast.
Yeah,
So-
you do.
There's got to be.
Especially
gotta-
the Bubbies.
Told Luke at some point we just need to go down and watch it with you, Matt, because I think it'd be fun to
Oh,
watch
yes.
together, and you and Katie.
I think so.
It's crazy. Okay, sorry. Someone said They Came Together, and I was like, because I've been wanting, like, that's one of the ones when I go on Fandango at home and I'm scrolling through, I'm always like, that's one of those I could just put on at any time. It's
Mark.
one of those.
Did you know that Fandango at home won't go on our TV down here?
I heard
even
earlier.
download
How's that even?
What is that?
Wait, but is it not? Do you guys have the Fire Stick still?
Yeah.
It's not compatible with the living room TV. This is irrelevant. Let's talk about challengers, please.
Ellie,
Okay.
you start talking about it. Yeah,
I
know you have a lot to say.
love challengers. Let me tell you, probably my favorite theater experience I have ever had.
Oh
I
yeah.
swear,
What
yeah,
about?
yeah. What?
What about Scream 6 where
In 3D.
happening?
In 3D.
Ugh!
What about when we saw it in
3D?
3D with us?
That made me want to vomit
yeah.
more than
Well, of
Scream 3.
course.
I like Scream 3, but you all know the vomit story.
Yeah, you actually did, yeah.
Thanks for clarifying.
I swear to God, me while watching challengers, literally, actually, physically on the edge of my seat the entire time. My back, the straightest it's ever been. Maya and I were grasping our hands together the entire movie, gasping so loud when I tell you I legitimately felt like I've been electrocuted.
Okay, but
I-
with you and Maya, you're gonna gasp at everything.
True. That, that does happen every time we watch a movie together. We do the
Like,
exact same
just
thing.
Zendaya will look at them one way, and you guys be like, "What?"
That's legitimately how we watch a movie. We're seeing Maxine together.
Oh
next
god.
Thursday.
Go see Longlegs
We've
with that.
seen, we've seen we watched X together
Oh gosh.
in theater, and then we watched Pearl, and so now we're gonna complete the
Have
trilogy
to.
of watching those movies again. Okay, whatever. But you gasp louder than we normally gasp, even because there were 2 other people in the theater, and we were still gasping.
The loudest gasp was the ball to the
Yes,
racket. at the end.
yes. When
Oh.
it was actually, I don't know if it was a gasp, but beforehand, because when we realized
Yeah.
that he was going to do it, because
Mm.
it's like
gasp
it's
in
like a
prop.
minute before he
In-
does
yeah,
do
yeah,
it,
gasp in prop.
we were like, holy shit! We're like, no. This is what I love this movie. It's because it's just about 3 horny people playing tennis, and yet the every interaction I'm like, oh my god, the audacity of everybody.
I think the best review I saw said everything is about sex except for sex, which is tennis.
Oh, I thought it was everything is tennis except for tennis, which is sex.
That's probably what it is. What did I say?
Same thing.
Okay.
Same. It works. It works. Okay, but that's why I like the movie, because literally the whole movie is a game of tennis. The back and forth. When the techno pop, that I literally I felt like they need to play this at the club. I felt like I was at the club. Where it starts mid conversation because they start going back and forth in a game of tennis, and we're treated like a fucking tennis ball being thrown throughout time.
Quite literally.
Quite
Quite
literally,
yeah.
at the end
We
of the
literally
movie.
become a tennis ball in the movie. Also, Luke's favorite shot of the entire movie is the POV shot of when he goes.
That was good.
2 of my favorite shots of 2024 movies are point of view. It's this, and then Godzilla
There's
Kong
one-
where he punches him
Well,
point of view.
You can't
It
eat.
became Peep Show.
It did, and Peep Show is just brilliant. So
No, because I love what they did, because this is how you do a modern day erotic thriller. Because it's also the way we're being thrown throughout time and just getting bits and pieces of information, and I'm on the edge of my seat. Oh my god, I love this movie. And sorry, someone else talk.
This is the perfectly paced movie. Like,
Yes,
I
agreed.
genuinely think that like the pacing is incredible, because when I sat to watch it, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna feel like watching the whole movie right now, and then I did. Or
In it the
I-
whole time.
had to go get a package in the middle of it. But besides that,
I'm
yeah,
enthralled the entire time.
I wanted to bring up something before I forget.
Yes.
Just the little details that this movie makes sure to like
Yes,
include are
I love-
great. Like when Patrick gets the cigarette slapped out of his mouth, he goes over later and picks it up to keep smoking it because he's dead broke and he's
'Cause
not going to waste that
he's Patrick.
cigarette. Yeah. And I think that detail is so cool.
I love the details as well. Like their beds being pushed together in the hotel
Mhm.
room. Patrick putting on Art's shirt, obviously, but also when they go to the party, Art changes his shirt, but Patrick keeps the shirt that he was wearing on before. Just like little about their characters.
I
I
like
like-
out the 3 letters. That's the tournament. Are their initials ATT?
Well, It's not the tournament, but that's the Association
Oh.
of Professional Tennis Players is ATP.
Oh.
Oh, that's
is
fun.
their
I didn't even-
initials.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and the T's in the middle.
At first,
Indeed.
I thought I had made this like crazy connection, and then I realized that I was just making connections out of nowhere. But Patrick's last name is Zweig, which is
Mhm.
Zwei
Right.
means
Right.
two in
Right.
German. But I was like, oh, does he feel like he's always playing second fiddle? And then I was like, but his name is
Ooh.
Zweig with a G, so I don't know.
What is a detail though is everyone in the movie, except for Art, I think mispronounces his name. His
They,
last
do they
name.
say
'Cause
Zweig?
yeah.
Ah,
except
yeah.
for Art.
Realize, except for
That's
Art.
great. Art. I knew Art
I
said
know.
it. Yeah. Also, when
Oh.
he eats his churro.
Oh my God, Luke! What the fuck did you just do?
I tore my ACL.
Are we
My
talking?
leg, my knee locked into place, and then it like
You just
popped out.
you Toshi'd it?
Tosh did it.
What about
Matt,
the churro? I could talk
read-
for 3 hours about the
I
churro.
read that
alone.
trivia that
Mm.
it was improvised because
Was it?
Josh O'Connor was very
Was starving.
hungry and never had a churro.
I think they had churros in the scene, but they weren't supposed to be eating them.
Or he
but
wasn't
he was
supposed
really
to.
hungry.
Yeah.
Or he
He-
wasn't supposed to take arts.
One, he
Like-
downed his so fast, and then
Yeah, he
right
was
to
really-
heart.
Yeah.
One of my favorite review of this movie is sometimes a churro is just a churro. This is not one of those times.
I did on the second watch, I feel like I caught so many more like little things they did that like the first time watching the theater felt like it was going too fast for me. Like during that scene, he makes a point of pulling his chair
Yeah.
closer to Patrick's, whereas like I didn't notice that the first time because it's like a half-second shot. And I was
Oh,
like,
I noticed it. the
you
first
noticed.
My favorite running joke throughout the whole movie is that the only thing we see them eat is phallic objects throughout the entire movie. It is so funny.
Mike, is it Feist or Feist?
Feist.
Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor,
Mhm.
their reactions when they're just watching Tashi play,
It's so
funny.
funny.
it's so funny. They're so good at that.
This movie is funny. These
This
two
movie is
fucking dumbass boys.
And Patrick is still a dumbass boy.
yeah. Whatever. No,
Mark-
Art is too. Not like Art's fucking innocent.
No, Art is does kind of act
He's just
like a
pathetic.
child.
They're both
Yeah.
pathetic. They're losers. I love them.
I have a question to bring up, but I want to hear Mark's thoughts on
yeah,
it first.
Mark. I feel like you're liked it the least of us.
That's what I was gonna say is I think I'm the lowest on it, but I
Okay.
didn't dislike it at all. Like I still liked it, but I didn't like. I would rewatch it. I think it was a good movie, but I wasn't like screaming, crying, throwing up like I wanted to.
Like me.
Yeah. I could see watching it with Kelly and doing that, and it wasn't even like a
I
crowd
was-
thing. I think I was just like, I don't know. I just it didn't hit me that way. I know like it was interesting you said the pacing map because for me it was a little slow. So
Really? Oh,
I
interesting.
I'm curious if like I don't know it
I
wasn't.
wonder.
Go ahead.
I wonder if you would have been more in it in a theater.
Maybe also
Because
like
I
the
got
music.
sucked in the theater.
The music was really good. I really like the and like
Yes,
that
the
usually sucks me in
techno.
into like in a movie theater for sure. So yeah, like again, I thought it was a good movie. I don't have like too much to say because it was a movie that I watched and liked and would rewatch, but it wasn't one that I was like loved, if that makes
Okay.
sense. So
That does make sense.
that's why I'm a little bit more quiet on it. But also, I don't want to. I don't really have issues with it. It just wasn't like my favorite.
Yeah.
You just wish
That's
they were
fine.
at you wish they were at a Chili's instead of an Applebee's.
The
No,
Applebee's.
no,
There was
it had to be Applebee's.
It had to be Applebee's.
What? Yeah, it's what are we gonna go to an Outback Steakhouse?
No,
off.
it had to be Applebee's.
Fuck in the
Long John
parking
Silver.
lot.
Um,
You know what was louder than even the music though? Was the person throwing out the garbage in that
So
one scene. That
loud.
scared the
So
shit out of me.
loud.
were they
Also,
throwing away the
anyone-
glasses?
Did
What
anyone
was that?
else feel like someone was about to die during the beach scene? It's like, why does it feel like someone's about to be murdered?
Oh,
Interesting.
Nope, just me.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think
think
like-
It's
I
just
didn't
you.
think somebody was going to, but it felt like it.
Mhm, mhm. That would have been something this movie would do, to have somebody die. My
Well, that's
okay,
what I mean. This is how you do an erotic thriller without any sex or murder.
That's true. I guess I never realized that it's all just kind of sexual tension.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what makes
interesting.
it even. It's more horny. It would be less horny if we actually saw the sex.
And I've always said that.
And I've always said
Do you know who Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are?
9 Inch
Uh,
Nails.
oh, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love one. I like 9 Inch Nails. I think they're
Yeah.
cool. The fact that they can transition to doing movies and do it this well is absolutely insane to me.
Did they do
Um,
Social Network?
Yes. I
Okay,
believe
that
so.
makes sense.
and Soul.
Did
They did
do
Soul?
Yes.
I
Wow,
Little
that's
Kelly.
I know.
actually
I just
didn't-
pretended to be surprised.
I didn't know that Atticus Ross was also in 9 Inch Nails. I didn't realize that they are the only two members of 9 Inch Nails.
From Twin Peaks: The Return, 9 Inch Nails.
hmm
That yes, right, exactly. Sorry, I should have let everyone know so they could know who I was talking about.
Thank you.
My existential question about the movie is, Do you? I don't, and it doesn't really matter. But do you think Lily is Patrick's daughter
Okay.
biologically?
Yeah.
I love that
No.
there's no discussion about
It's,
it.
it's ambiguous too. It's like it could
I
be.
don't think it's.
timeline-wise.
If I had, I think it's purposely just like she's about 8 years old. Let's leave it at
Yeah,
that.
yeah, right. I was like,
If I had to say though, I feel like Tashi's too calculated. But that was a moment
But
of
she
spontaneity
plants-
from her.
It's like she
So-
plants the doubt in Patrick's mind. Patrick might be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
How long has it been since
Huh?
Atlanta?
But I
I-
do love that it is just left like that could be a thing.
I'm
No.
gonna be honest. My first time watching the movie didn't even cross my mind. Didn't
Really?
even think about it once. It was the second time where I was like, wait a minute.
Doing
You
math.
know, yeah.
I'm pretty
I
sure
would
that
say-
one scene, Tashi was in a tornado with the papers flying everywhere. Like it was.
Yeah.
They should not have been outside.
No.
It was
No.
so fucking windy.
Then she spat in his face, and you
That
know
was
what?
crazy.
He liked it.
He did.
Easily. Like,
A
He
so
hundred
did.
much.
That's what solidified that they were gonna do it.
The spitting in the face.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah,
Yep.
because that's what their relation. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god, I can't even. they okay, but the thing about this movie is that they only work. Any of them together only work when the three of them are together.
Yep.
They don't work when someone's left out.
This would all work so much better if thruples were more accepted back in
They just-
2006
I just
or 9 or whatever it was.
I feel like Tashi needs it to be a throuple. Patrick would be so down. If Art would have just let it happen, it would have happened.
just
If he wasn't a-
just let it
If he just
happen.
stopped being
Yeah.
a snake for just a second.
I think it's so funny that no matter how many times Patrick calls him out on it, he just continues to be that way.
Yep.
I did like that Patrick wasn't even mad at him. He was like, "Look
Nope.
at you
Well,
being a snake."
Yeah.
He's
funny
like, I'm
because-
proud of you, buddy.
Yeah.
Even though he ends up getting away with it, both of them completely realize that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like he's not.
Yeah.
But Patrick
It's his
isn't
best friend
mad.
trying to steal his girlfriend, and he's just like, "Hey, you shot your shot,"
Because-
basically.
Well, because
Like,
it said it was nice to see him like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, it's part of the game. This is the game we play. You're like,
Well, also, I mean, we don't even have to get into his feelings about Art.
I feel like we would need a lot more than the 45 minutes we have left to get into them completely. The moments of humor in this really work for me. When Patrick slaps Art's dick,
Favorite?
10 out of
That's
10
crazy.
slapstick comedy.
That was crazy.
And then
Slap dick comedy.
Slap dick
Nice one.
comedy.
Whoa.
Nice
Like,
one.
Literally, wow.
That's a
good
good
job.
one.
that's my favorite part. That was the actually loudest I've gasped in a theater. Was when he slapped his dick because I was like, "Whoa!" It was also coming off of the almost threesome, and then
There are so many things, like, not just what I had already mentioned, I caught in the second watch, where it's like the first time that Patrick meets Tashi, he's like, do you smoke? And then, like, the pivotal scene with them is when he's outside smoking in her
Yeah.
face, and she's still like, I don't smoke. Yeah.
and
It's-
she's way more offended by him asking
Mhm,
if she wants to
mhm.
be his coach than them having
Then
than saying that they had an affair and saying that she came to have an affair.
Patrick
Hey.
also, but I'm just thinking about Patrick using Tinder just to find a place to sleep at night.
Yeah, he's messy.
Like,
Uh
Oh,
oh.
he cut out.
Patrick,
Oh, there it is.
honestly, my bad.
Dangerous.
The fact that Patrick can make that system work for him is a
Oh, I
testament
know.
to his charisma.
Exactly. Like honestly, I,
I
salute you.
salute you.
You and your charisma. But I mean, I think what makes the movie so extra interesting is like everything that is left unsaid. Like
Mhm.
what because we know that Patrick grew up rich. Why is he
Yeah.
so estranged from his family that he's resulted into living in his car, you know? What was Art's injury that he recovered from?
They never even said,
You know,
yeah.
it looked like a surgery. Yeah, they
It
don't
did,
say
yeah.
it what it was, but I feel like it added to breeding resentment a little bit subconsciously from Tashi because she wasn't able to recover like that. You know,
Well, she says that out loud too. At
she
one
said
point.
she'd
She's
stab someone, a child, an old
A child.
lady.
Yeah, that one is so interesting because like Tasha even brings it up to Patrick where she's like, "Is it just pride? Like, go back home to your rich family.
Yeah.
Like, go ask for money. What?
It's
Why are you
interesting,
coming
like-
here? Yeah.
Anyway, and also just leaving it unsaid that their daughter is about 8 years old.
That's why it's like, I just got completely lost in the
Yeah.
background the first time I watched it. Where
Their
I didn't
daughter
think about
had
it.
taste though. She asked if if they could watch Spider-Verse.
She has
Yeah.
good taste.
Speaking of Spider-Verse. Okay, what note I have written down is what's most important to Tashi is tennis, willing to lose relationships for the sake of tennis. What's most important to Patrick is relationships, because we see multiple times he's willing to lose at tennis for the sake of relationships. At the beginning of the movie, saying that he'll lose on purpose for art for his grandma, and then telling Tashi that he would also lose, but make Art feel like he won it. And then I said, what would I have written down? I jumped, and then Art's codependent ass. It just matters on whoever's he's with. What he cares about just matters on whoever he's with. I like him. I like them all.
Oh yeah.
I just love pathetic men.
And that is clear.
That's this whole movie.
and women slapping men and cheating. How rough is it? Okay? How rough is it to come? Okay, because when I was in the theater with Maya, when she came home and he wasn't in the bed either, we were like, oh, he left too. And then seeing that he was in their daughter's bed, how rough.
Oh.
Coming home from cheating on your husband to see that he's a loving father.
It's a rough life.
We were like, yikes.
Worst possible night for him to do that.
Except you.
Hey, can you not be a good father for 5 minutes? Jesus.
I know, that was rough. Hello?
Oh, that's a bad one.
Alright. That was a bad lull.
Okay, I have things Luke said during the movie. It's
I wanna
just
hear
so...
Was it
they
Luke's
made me
first time
laugh
watching it?
Yes. And then I'll let someone else talk. Well, actually, no, because it got quiet and no one else started
Yeah,
talking.
you go.
Yep.
Things Luke said that made me laugh really loud while watching this movie was when they were explaining when Patrick taught Art how to jerk off, which is the whole story. Who knows? Luke went, "Oh, a lateral jerk." Completely serious. Also, the Taco Bell in the back of that scene, old Taco Bell too, because this is 2006.
Yeah, I
Um,
mentioned to Luke too that they had old Gatorade logos. It was with
Yeah,
the
they
lightning
did.
bolt, like
It was a
the
cool
good
one.
ones. Yeah,
I wish it was still that.
I know. I wish most stuff was still how it used to be. Like the Hot
Taco Bell?
Cheetos bags? Are you kidding me? New Hot Cheetos bags within the past like 2 months? Are you kidding me?
Are too far. That's across the line.
That's
That's where you draw the line.
I thought that was sacred forever, but no.
That's
nothing
what
is.
I thought. I guess not.
The other thing that Luke said that made me laugh really loud was I was talking about how much I love their tennis moans.
Oh,
throughout the
yes.
movie, and Luke went talking about Art. He went, "Those were premeditated moans."
It does.
He went,
One
"Those are
moan.
premeditated."
There was one specifically that felt like very
Like,
intentional
whoa.
by Art. You're like, that didn't sound like your other ones.
Because you're like, yeah, Luke, you look like you don't remember saying that.
I didn't remember the premeditated one until you said it.
You
I
said
remembered the
Lateral
one.
jerk.
Yeah.
Those were premeditated moans. Does anyone else want to talk?
Yeah, I don't have like much. Like I said, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I liked their relationships. I like that it's like all just basically it's just people. Like the movie is just like not about tennis at all. It's really just about them and their relationships and how they interact with each other. I mean, it's about tennis for Tashi, but the other two it's not
whole thing's
really. Right, but yeah, it's like not
Using
are they going to
tennis
win
to-
this game? Like it's really
yeah.
just like what's the relationships going to
yeah.
be? Like what's happening with that? And I like
Unraveling
that. And that's why I could tell, for sure why you like this one, Kelly. Not just because of the tennis moans,
Because it's about the
but also
character.
it's like just really
Just
about the
because of
character.
tennis moans? Is that what you're saying?
It's like
It's got
it-
some good
there's
ones,
other
though.
reasons too.
It's all, I love everything character driven. It's
Yes.
just about these three characters and who they are and how they connect to each other
hmm
and their dynamics.
And how they interact, and it's very interesting to think about like if like the time gaps that we don't see, like
Yeah.
what's going on in there, because it's like Tashi and Art's relationship is very not great sometimes, and
Mhm.
obviously she's like and
Well, okay.
no, I just meant like she cheats on him,
Hey.
so I meant like obviously in like
Oh,
they're,
yeah.
they're not in the best place is
Nobody's-
what I meant.
yeah.
But it's interesting to think about what those like 8 years in between when they like got together, those 8 years since she had slept with Patrick,
Yeah.
and it's like there's a lot of time, and it has to be all talking about tennis because that's all they
Yeah.
do. And so it's like
Exactly.
Because
that's crazy to think. Like he also has to say focus on tennis for her to want to be with him. So he has to care about. He really cares about Tashi more than he cares about tennis. But he has to care about tennis for Tashi to.
It's a
Yeah.
paradox.
So
But he always he views, because what I think is interesting is that even though Patrick is the more like blunt one, but or like not as what's the right word? When like fucking Art was like, she's a remarkable young woman, you know, he's less that.
mhm.
yeah,
yeah.
And instead Patrick went, I'd let her fuck me with a tennis racket, which I believe he would.
He would.
Oh, I think she has.
I think she has. What was I gonna say? Fuck. Patrick is the one who actually sees her as human, though. Where Art sees her as this god that he
Right.
must appease.
That is
Right.
true.
Because Patrick wasn't a part of her fan club, where
Mhm.
Art always was. She's more of a coach than his wife. You know.
Mhm.
So much so that it's assumed that Art saw her,
Yes,
her and
exactly.
Patrick together and never said anything about it.
Yep.
In 8
He
years.
knew.
He knew. And he didn't want to
Wasn't
jeopardize his relationship
verbalized,
with her.
but-
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where I like my mind was going of like what's going on in those time periods, because it's like the stuff we're seeing is pretty rough sometimes, and it's like between those periods it's just probably the exact same thing. Like that's probably what Art
Yeah.
and Tashi's life was them sitting on the couch watching every single one of his matches, like the entire time. Because he wanted to appease her no matter what. So he was
But-
honestly like, who knows if he would have quit a lot sooner, but it was like because
Yeah.
but what if he would have quit with the injury he had? We don't know too much about it.
Yeah.
Like, but he tried to come back just for Tashi. I mean, because he literally
But he
tells her he's
was-
gonna retire the next year, and she says she's gonna leave him. It's like,
Yeah.
oh
But
god.
because when he has nothing to fight for,
Yeah.
nothing, then his tennis game is he's not playing tennis.
Yeah.
you
I
know.
think
But they were
that
playing tennis
scene-
in the last match, like
That's
that
the
last,
and that's
yeah,
what's
'cause
cool
they were
because
just
that's
tennising.
the one time that Tashi is the one who's left out of the love triangle.
Yeah.
When she's the
Yep.
one who doesn't know what's going on, when she's the one who's confused, is that last bit of back and forth, and she finally got to watch some good fucking
A
tennis.
good fucking
Also,
tennis.
Yeah,
the POV
my
shot was
favorite-
the most insane thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I know Luke, you mentioned it, but holy shit! Like the camera moving,
Yeah.
spinning with the ball. It's like, what the fuck?
My,
I like that we don't know for sure who wins.
yes,
Yeah.
that Art had
think
the
it's
last hit, but he also hit the net, so we
I
don't
feel
know
like
who
it would've
won.
been
And also, my
Noah.
favorite part, my favorite little detail is that Patrick drops his racket to catch
To
Art,
catch him,
proving
yeah.
proving that he values that more than what I was saying
Oh,
before.
I
you
thought you
know?
were gonna say
he drops his
proving-
racket to catch him.
I thought you were gonna say proving that man is good, like Community. Remember they did that of like
Man
he
is
like the
good.
wheelchair, like, and
Yeah.
then he threw himself at him.
I
That's basically what this
think
movie
that
did.
that
Yes.
last scene is so good too, because like I think part of me feels like Patrick just did that to get Art to like
Yep, I think so.
play better
I think so
to
too.
win, because he's like, I want you to win. At least that's how I kind of viewed it. And also that scene where Art and Tashi are talking in bed, and she's like, if you don't win, I'll leave you. Is that what you want? But like Zendaya does it in such this perfect way where it's like it was like half serious, but no, she's
Yeah.
being serious, you know?
But it's
Like,
also like I
Yeah.
don't think she wants to be saying this, but she wants him to play like it's a
Yeah.
messy.
Well, every time that anyone says, "Can we not talk about tennis?" throughout the whole movie, she gets so upset.
Yeah.
So
It was
upset.
her whole life, and then
That's
it
her
got
life.
taken away from her because of the one thing that that she didn't plan out and just completely changed her life.
Makes you
Ugh.
wonder too.
I
if
love, yeah.
she and Patrick were having a fight while she was stretching before that match. It
Mhm,
makes
I
you
was thinking
wonder.
that too.
I think so. I think it had
Yeah.
a part of it.
Well, I
I
think
think
that
so.
could have been
and also
part
why
of her
she got so
resentment
mad.
towards
Exactly.
him
Yeah.
was because she didn't stretch as much as she would have if he wasn't there.
Or she was also because the
She's in a
emotions
bad
of the fight. Yeah.
headspace.
True.
Yeah,
true,
yeah,
true, true.
yeah.
I think that's because it wasn't just that he wasn't there.
Yeah,
it
because she
was-
did look for him twice, like while he. Yeah.
It was it all. And I love the scene of her breaking down by the tree because I love the bits that we get that humanize her because she is
Right.
just another human. Her breaking down a tree, and another sweet one when he's dancing with her friends when they're
Oh,
they're
yes.
being creepy boys and watching her. But
Purdy boys.
her dancing with her friends because you're like, oh yeah, it's just a teenage girl like dancing with her friends. It's
Also-
adorable. We're gonna talk about the
Zen-
song.
No, you can talk
Okay.
about that. I was just gonna say that Zendaya does a great job. Somehow she can both look 18 and 35.
It's
I was
amazing.
like, wow, like that's insane. But go ahead.
The song is hot in here because it's 2006,
Oh, that's
which
right.
is so funny. But the song she was dancing to while filming it was "Time Will Crawl" by David Bowie, which is so
That's
like
obscure.
how different would the scene be if it was that? It wouldn't
why
be
would
like
it?
2006.
I've heard the "Take Off All Your Clothes" song a lot in the past few weeks.
Well, it's because we
Why?
did the trivia thing,
Yes,
and that was funny when you hadn't heard that song.
and then Trini and Tori were watching something, and it started playing.
Was it
and I
Love
like,
Island?
Oh my gosh, it's following me. Probably it was
Luke.
following me everywhere.
You called
That's
it the "Hot in Here" song. Oh no, you called it the "Take Off All Your Clothes"
Yeah,
song.
Well, because we were doing like what were we doing? We were just sitting there doing like guess this song or like finish the lyrics and stuff like that because it was just like we were chilling at the 3 p.m.
Yeah.
mark on like a Saturday or Sunday where it's like what the fuck do we do? So we were doing that for like hours of just like different like YouTube videos, and that song played and Luke was like, "Take off all your clothes," and to me I've like heard that song many times, so it's like kind of normalized in my head of just
Yeah.
like that song. But I wonder if I heard it for the first time what my reaction be, because it's just like it's hot in here, so take off all of your clothes. So-
It's very early 2000s.
yeah.
Wow, Luke.
That's one of my favorite songs now.
That
What was? Oh no! Your
I
favorite song
checked
is
the
"Smoke
lyric.
Weed Every Day."
That's also not the name of that song.
I know,
Smoke
but
weed every day.
it's
Luke, you just love the early 2000s and its music.
So
because
those
it's
two songs,
ridiculous.
and I
It's
threw it on the
absurdist.
ground. Are the three masterpieces.
Oh, I threw it on the
songs.
ground.
Ah, yes.
That reminds me, Mark, I wanted to tell you, I listened to both of the Hot Rod episodes
Oh.
of that podcast, and they're worth. Did you listen to them?
I'm halfway through the first one. Like I sent it to you guys before I started listening.
It's all worth it. It's all good insights.
So
They-
it was.
I love Seth.
I only
Seth
heard about
Meyers.
it because
Yeah.
I listened to the Smart List podcast with Andy
Oh, me
Samberg,
too.
and then they mentioned the podcast. So then I
Yeah.
went to the podcast and was like,
You
I
guys
knew-
had
I
the
knew they were
exact same route.
yeah. I knew that
Yep.
they were talking about the digital shorts that they did, but then like, I was like, oh shit, like they did Hot Rod, and that's like, of course, what I gravitated towards. So I haven't listened
I
to
know
anything
it's-
else.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny?
What?
All three of you guys at separate times told me that
Mhm.
Hot Rod they said Hot Rod was inspired by Wet
But
Hot.
I
All of
didn't
you guys-
tell you that because of the podcast. I did
Yeah,
not
no,
listen to
she
that
knows.
podcast.
It's crazy.
I just,
But it was like Kelly told me, and then I think Matt, you said it on the podcast, and then Mark
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
me
I
again. I,
don't
was like, oh my
remember
gosh,
you
you
saying
guys
it
are
on
having
the
the same experience. Because I was like, this is crazy.
telling you.
Yeah, Mark, I want to thank you for sending that my way because I had heard about their podcast. I didn't know they had done a Hot Rod episode, so
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And this is not really a spoiler. I wanted to tell Kelly that they name check the movie Welcome to the Dollhouse in the second
Oh my
part
god.
of the.
That's wild, actually.
which made me think of you immediately. I was like, Kelly
Thanks,
would
man.
appreciate-
I do appreciate. That's insane.
I like the part, Matt, like, because I'm only in the first 20, 30 minutes or whatever, where they're talking about Seth Meyers being there trying to keep them serious, but he's like, what, you guys want jokes to be like this? And, like, said something really stupid, and they're like, yes! And then they try to use...
Yes, what was the one he contributed? I can't even remember, but
I
it
don't
was
remember.
something so dumb.
It was just
And
something
also,
really dumb, and it's like, that's what we want.
Seth was the reason why there are like self-referential things, like Chris Parnell saying his conveniently priced surgery.
Yeah.
Apparently, that was Seth's just like actual criticism.
Didn't
It's like,
is it too
yeah.
legit to quit? Is that
Yes.
him?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they talked about how much it costs to license that just for him to do it.
Well,
It's like
Matt, they didn't know what to do.
$35,000.
They didn't know what to
Yeah.
do with their budget. They wanted it to be lower budget.
Yeah, they were like, well, we have a little extra money. You guys don't want to do reshoots or something? And they're like, what? No, I don't know.
That's why it's so good.
That's the best movie ever made. Yes.
They also like they intentionally don't reshoot the scene where like Rico's running up without the TV, and then it cuts to him with the
Yeah.
TV. It's like that would be one to reshoot, but no,
No, that was on purpose.
exactly. But like
Yorm,
that's what I'm
trust
saying.
me.
Is they could do
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, but they're not going to.
Yorm said that was hit the hardest scene for him to get through because he thought it was so funny that he was holding a TV.
He was running around naked on set. So
This he was. God, but it's so fun to see the insights into it because their approach to movies, they're like, we were so serious. Like they were like stressing about the rewrite, but their rewrites include like the you know,
What cool
I thought that was
beans.
improvised.
they
think
wrote that in
Wait,
there.
Bomb.
They
the
did-
bell.
Yeah.
It's
I
right
think they said
in
that
on
was-
the page.
I think they said it was based on like a short they had done before. They were on SNL. I can't remember.
Written on the pages, he hits the bell and mimics it. And everyone.
And
I
Dave
think-
says woof.
Yeah,
I
it
think
says
that was
wolf.
improvised. Mark, you'd have to, when you get to that part, you'd have to let me know if I'm
Okay.
full of shit or not. But I thought I heard him say that was like a plan.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I liked that they were like, oh, we don't know what Bill Hader would say for this. They're like, oh, we'll just insert an audio clip here, and it's like obviously a voice memo that he did for them, like explaining Dave.
Explaining the character of Dave. He said that his look with the visor and long hair was inspired by a documentary he watched about the Flaming Lips, which is a band, like a kind of obscure band, and they were playing football in the park, and they all had long hair and visors, and he thought it looked funny.
I read, maybe they talked about it, I don't know, but the Cool Beans scene, they were like, I think we're going to have to scrap this, but then test audiences liked that scene the most. So they gotta keep it in, but they were worried.
They
that
were
would
going
have
into
to
it.
Scrap it.
They go into it quite a bit. They were gonna scrap it because it was originally just them saying "Cool Beans" a bunch of ways, not musically. And putting it to music saved it because after that, audiences loved it.
Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Challengers.
Challenge. Sorry.
Matt,
Yeah.
you were right. The review is everything is sex except sex, which is tennis. But it works
Okay.
both ways.
It does work both
And
ways.
so does everyone in this movie.
That's a good one.
Thanks. You guys know when you talk about how great your best friend is while making out with your girlfriend?
Yeah.
There's a scene like that in Crash. David Cronenberg's Crash. I need to make a list. It's
And-
those two movies.
It clarify something for me.
Yeah.
Is the girlfriend in Crash a
His wife.
human
Oh.
or a car? Okay.
Oh, it's a person. It's
Uh,
people. Nobody
not
actually
seen
has
Crash.
sex with a
Okay.
car in that movie. They do have
Mm.
sex with parts that shouldn't be used for sex.
I had a fundamental misunderstanding about this movie.
People are not. They're horny for car crashes
Mm.
and the effects of car crashes. So it's a bunch of people having sex in cars and being turned on by cars and cars crashing, but no one actually puts their dick in an exhaust pipe.
was-
Luke and Mark.
That was saved for the DVD extras of Cars 3.
I remember you
Yeah,
talking about
I
it,
just
and like
thought
we're
that I
joking
remember.
about it being people having sex with cars, but then like as you're explaining what it's actually about, with the car crashes.
That's
Oh,
what
you-
they're horny for, is car crashes and like the scars. Yeah. That's yeah. Someone. There's open.
In my
wound.
head,
I'm not gonna get
it was
into
the boom sound from Mike's videos. Whenever I open my mouth like that, it just like internally it's like
Coma.
boom.
Yeah, it's not the cars themselves, it's them crashing. And them being in the cars when they crash. It's hot. also gross.
Oh, Kelly just gets it. That's
My review was ew hot. I remember that. And that encompasses exactly how I feel about that movie. You
That's
guys,
called
I don't
Crash?
know if you would like it, but Matt, you should watch it. It's just
I will
called
definitely.
Crash.
I will
It's
definitely
not
watch
the
it.
racist one.
There's a
Or
reason.
whatever that other one is.
Love to imagine somebody look because Crash won the Oscar.
Oscar.
I'd
And
love-
finding David Cronenberg's Crash.
and turning it on and like getting like 3/4 of the way through and being like, "Where's Matt
It should've.
Dillon?"
It should have won the Oscar. This is the Crash that should have won the Oscar.
This
Is this
should
a
be-
remake
what-
or is it just like a completely different movie?
different movie?
Oh, it's completely different. You
Um,
don't know Crash lore?
I don't know what Crash is.
Kelly, what was that like 96?
Yes, I believe so.
I think what was it? I think The English Patient won that year. It could have been
Oh, bullshit.
it. It could have been
Yeah. Oh my god, the joke in episode 1 of Peep Show, so sorry. All I think of when I think of The English Patient now. That wasn't a porno, that was The English Patient.
I have no context.
Crash
but
was
that's
96.
Really funny.
Good job.
The Peep Show has so many quotable lines that I
It's
almost
so
I
fucking
almost want to rewatch it and just write down every
Oh,
time
no.
there's a line that I like really love,
perfect.
or like just the picture Mark just saying it's an honorable man. It's the weirdest picture of
It's
Mark
so
I've ever seen.
funny.
His teeth are too bright. The angle is so
The
weird.
angle. It's so good. Okay, challengers. I want to learn tennis now. I'm sweaty.
Oh,
I
man.
get sweaty whenever I watch challengers for multiple
is
reasons.
it on in the
I-
back?
Right there. Oh, I just got hit with a tennis ball.
Those
Um,
are crazy. One of them actually made me jump the first time
No, me
Zendaya
too.
hit at it.
Oh, I know.
the one that made me jump is when the first flashback to 13 years ago when Art and Patrick are and he does the like behind the legs
Oh.
move. He goes like the screen
Insane.
and jump every time. Also though, that's also the details of that one too is Art doesn't hit the ball once in that scene. Patrick
Oh,
it's
seriously?
every time he sends it back, it's Patrick hitting the ball.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never even noticed that.
Yep. Anyway, and then they almost 7 days in hell on the court.
They
When
did.
So I was gonna say that this movie is
That's a good
somehow
movie.
hornier than 7 Days in Hell and they have sex on
Somehow.
the court.
I
in
know.
that movie.
That's how this movie. That's exactly what followed after the end of this movie.
I-
And it
Oh,
jumped
I-
in, and the three of them. And then there was a CGI part of someone escaping prison. You guys remember?
Yeah, that is good. That was good.
Best shot of the whole flick.
That was good.
I want to learn tennis now, guys. Have you guys ever played tennis or been in a situation
tennis.
like this?
All the time, every day.
I played
Me and Cameron
tennis
in
in-
racquetball.
PE. You know, Katie used to play tennis a little bit.
Really?
In high school, and
Was it
also
like this?
it was exactly like this for a little while there. It's like a couple 2 years ago, maybe. A year and a half. She was taking tennis lessons again.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So pre-challenger,
I love
she did it
tennis.
before it was.
Oh,
now
yeah.
for-
now
was
it's cool
cool.
too.
Yeah.
Um,
Now it's
but
hot.
it also made it. She really liked the movie, but she's like, I don't think I can rewatch it because it was bringing up a lot of like competitive, like
Oh yeah.
not in her. It's just that like growing up when people are like pushing you like that, she's like
Yeah.
like stressing her out. Or I was like, oh, I could see that totally.
I did see someone's review and I agreed with it. It was like the best. It was just like best sports movie in years, and I was like, "You're
Yeah.
right," because sports movies are so bad usually. Like,
Yeah.
even the good ones are kind of bad. But then, like,
Because-
it's not really in my opinion, it's not really about that, which is why it's good. It's not the
Well-
final season where that's the whole goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm
because
talking
it doesn't
shit about
matter
the
who
final
wins.
season, Luke.
I think
Because it doesn't
for
matter
that.
who wins.
Yes.
And I like that even though the movie's about the dynamics between the three of them, there is still so much tennis.
So much
And
tennis.
like
There is,
really
yes.
cool stuff going on with tennis and how much they had to train.
Oh, they're so sweaty. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, the
So
sweat.
So it was hitting the camera. It was blocking my view.
It was hitting the
I think sports movies, maybe not just in general, but at least this one specifically, when they use it as a vehicle to
Yes.
tell
Yeah.
like a more like emotional thing or
Yes,
say something
like-
about like human nature.
Yes.
That's
like
I eat
Sandlot
that shit
3
up. Yeah.
heading home.
Yeah, or
Exactly,
the
Luke gets
rookie,
it.
the rookie.
Or Mickey, of course.
Yes.
Or
or-
everybody's hero.
Or
And
everybody-
I think
everyone's
all
hero.
sports movies are like this.
Or
Quintessentially, yes.
Not The Blind Side.
No, not
right.
the plot.
I-
not-
Matt, the
no.
boy. I love the plot line
boy.
of training A Train being the
The-
blind side.
Yeah, he's like Will Ferrell is like I'm not coming off too blindsidey, right? Like
It's the
and then in the
exact thing they're
trailer-
doing. Oh,
oh,
shit, you haven't got there.
sorry. Fuck.
Will Ferrell is a character this season?
Well,
Not
is he a character?
No.
He's
he
himself.
cameos. Yeah.
He's gonna
playing-
die. His
he's
head's
playing
gonna
Will Ferrell.
explode. She's gonna
Um,
blow up his head. It's gonna be all weird. and
You-
gross. That's what's gonna happen.
It's your
next
fault
movie.
for not seeing it because it's been 4
I'm
weeks.
so sorry. I'm so
That's
sorry.
right. I'm behind.
Mark, I love when they cut the trailer together and they're like a story about a hero and the boy he taught to run.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But I wanted Katie texted me during her lunch break the other day and said that someone was watching The Blind Side on their phone full volume. And I was like, I think that's a hate crime. I think you have to report them.
Oh my god.
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, Kelly, this season The Boys is there's just a plot line that's basically The Blind Side. Like they're making the movie The
We're
Blind
making
Side
a
basically.
movie.
It's
Yeah.
very funny because
Essentially
they're
The
just
Blind
calling
Side.
it out. They're just calling it out. Also, because
It's
apparently
very
a bunch of that movie was like not even close to being accurate too.
It was such white savior bullshit.
Oh, for sure,
It's so bad.
for sure. That's like
I
it's so
remember
bad.
seeing that in theaters and being a dumb kid and being like, that was a good movie.
Wow,
You went
inspiring.
Profound. You went, I'm not
Went,
going to be racist
"Mm."
anymore.
went, "That guy was
anymore up until that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
He was good at tackling.
What?
That was a big takeaway.
Anyway. I had
Sorry.
something to say, but then I forgot.
I totally
It was
I've
about
derailed this
challenge.
conversation like 3 times.
That's
I'm
what our
sorry.
podcast is.
It's not a podcast.
It's not.
No.
Sometimes we consistently get like 30 downloads, so that means like if we're consistently getting it, people are
We have
listening.
fans.
It's not even me. I have not downloaded or listened to an episode in months.
Yeah, I can't anymore.
Yeah, I haven't in a while either.
I hate
I've
us.
never-
Like, I hate you guys.
I wouldn't listen.
I'm fine listening to my own voice.
Oh,
If
makes
it,
sense.
if it wasn't us,
It's
I
you
wouldn't
guys.
listen.
Yeah.
It's something weird about doing it on a Thursday and it coming out Friday. Like if I listen to it, I'm like, I
This
feel like I'm
just
reliving
happened.
the same day. Yeah, I'm like, this is like Groundhog.
what
Well,
the
we,
fuck?
we have to
Yeah.
do that because of the way we we try to backlog. Remember when we first started doing it, Luke, and it was like do 3 episodes and then immediately we got caught up because we just
I
stopped
like-
doing it.
I like our
That's
routine.
how it goes.
I just mean I can't listen to it.
Yeah.
It's so recent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Anyway, I love Challengers. I love it so much. I own it now, and I will be watching it all the time. The second I make a new friend, which hasn't happened in 15 years, I will immediately make them watch Challengers. It's actually a criteria to be my friend. You have to watch Challengers. You have to watch those sweaty men and that
So
beautiful
sweaty.
woman.
You
I love that they. So sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said that you have to watch their face for any
Yeah.
hint of reactions to
Yes.
every part of the movie to see if they're
Make
worthy.
sure- Yeah. Are you watching? Are you watching?
Don't look away. What are you doing?
I love that they dyed Mike's hair blonde so they weren't both brunette. I love that they gave her the biggest wedges in the world during the Applebee scene so she'd be taller than him.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that there is a Desperately Seeking Susan and a Something Wild poster in the Applebee's. That was crazy.
I missed
Crazy
those.
pull.
There was a Something Wild poster.
Yes,
Something
there
Wild
was
Mark will
behind.
scare you.
Yeah, it would scare
What?
you, Mark.
It's one of the scariest movies
Actual.
for you and me. Yeah.
More-
Actually, yes.
For-
Scare me-
Halfway through it does turn actually.
It does actually
Okay.
turn.
Would it be more or less scary than Black Christmas?
No, Black
No.
Christmas will forever be your
Scary. Okay, what about Shiva Baby?
No, that'll forever
Mm.
be your number 1.
No, that's my number 2. Black Christmas. My number
That'll
one.
forever be your number 2.
Number 3, Civil War. Scariest thing I ever seen in my life.
I need to see, but okay, this will
Guys,
just be
X
in
was
there.
so actually scary. I don't know why it
No,
affected me
it's
so bad this
really
time.
good.
Because like, I think I just forgot to be honest. Because I watched it in theaters and I was scared, but like not jump scary. It's just like the things that happen legitimately scare me. Like Ty West is so good at putting in a position of like, if this lady was in my bed, like
Oh my god.
that's so scary to me that I'm like freaking out like when I'm going to bed. But that's why it's so good, is because like
Yeah.
it's not the jump scares. It's like he's putting in situations like, or sorry, RJ. I'll shut up real quick because I know you don't have much time. But RJ, like stopping to help her get it back into the house, help Pearl get back in the house, and then she stabs him. Then it's like, but in that situation, I would also stop. It's an old lady in the middle of the night outside of her house. Like she's right there. You try to help her
Same
in.
with Brittany Snow. She was trying to help her.
Yeah, and
Like
everyone's
it's
just trying to
because
help.
it's an old lady.
And
You're not
that's
gonna
why-
think the old lady's gonna do it.
And that's why it's scary, because I would
with,
be in that situation because I would try to help.
everybody was trying to help. Yeah.
Go.
Because they're good people. Like,
Yeah.
oh. Anyway, challenge. I have what
We
I
have
have.
13 minutes.
Okay. What? Two more notes. One. Patrick and Art absolutely knew that it was each other that they were kissing, and also I
Oh
wrote down
yeah.
they
You
knew.
can't not know that.
No, you can't not know. But the shot of her leaning down with like the up overhead watch, such a good shot. And then she just goes, "Okay, I'm going to bed."
During that scene,
love
I feel like other movies would have had like Art and Patrick act like, oh, like I didn't realize I was doing that.
They
No
didn't
indication of that. They knew what was going on. They were just like,
just-
why are we stopping?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why are you, what? Can I
Yeah.
get your number, please? He's like a borderline begging. Please, please, please. And my last note is she's a sore loser and a racist bitch. Remember?
Yeah, at the beginning.
She said that about Mark. Do you remember? You look
I don't,
confused.
but I don't really want you to repeat it.
She's a sore loser and a racist bitch.
Oh, they said that line, right?
They did.
I
They
thought
did.
you were just
Tashi.
calling Tashi
No,
a sore
no, no.
loser and a racist bitch, and I was
she
like,
says that about Anna Mueller.
that's where I was
She
confused.
beat
I was like, what did Tashi say that was
Got it.
racist?
No.
No, no.
That's a line of hers.
I thought you were just
Yes.
saying that.
I love her.
Tashi's
No.
very intense. She'd scare me if I met her in person.
Absolutely, but I completely understand them. I understand all of them. Look at them. Anyway.
Completely,
No, that's a line she has at the very beginning and made me
I
laugh
remember now,
so
yeah.
hard. Anyway. I love this
So,
movie. Highly recommend.
I highly recommend this movie as well. I like it a lot.
Luke?
Luke.
I know you.
I rocks with it.
Oh,
I'll bring
that's
that
on our
back.
shirts.
Too long.
Too long.
I rocks with it,
Um,
and I would suggest it. Like, it definitely wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't bad at all. I thought it was a good, solid movie. So
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
Do you need
that
to... Go ahead.
I think it's fun that a movie like this became like a cultural touchstone.
Yes.
Like that's very fun.
it's nice,
I don't know.
yes, because like it got way bigger than I expected it to be. So, and I like when movies do that. Like,
Yeah.
they kind of surprise you. It's like the opposite of Furiosa, where like, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry,
Sad. Aw.
they're definitely not making the Wastelands, but
No.
definitely not. But where it's like this could have just came and went. There's a ton of movies that just come and go. Like, but this one was like, no, people were talking about it.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yes, I'd highly recommend it if you like need an adrenaline. If you have 2 hours to spare before you need to like go run a marathon, go. Yeah.
This movie for me
felt like a
is like
workout.
with when I watched Whiplash, where it's like this is a movie about like one's a sport and one's music, but I was like on the edge of my
obsession.
seat. Yeah, and
They're
it's
both
like
about obsession.
they are both about obsession.
Anyway.
Would you like me to give you guys hints about what my movie
Yes.
is going to be next week?
Ooh.
I didn't do hints last time.
You
Like,
didn't.
I kind of picked it on the spot.
Yeah, hints.
Okay. This movie was released in 2003.
Ooh,
it's not
Ang Lee,
Secondhand Lions?
Ang Lee's the Hulk.
Ooh,
The
good guess.
Lord of the Rings:
Um,
The Return of the King Extended Edition.
Great guess.
This is before my time.
yeah,
Like
this
a hand
movie-
line.
So
Like a
it's
hand
a
line.
year after.
Like a hand
Wait,
line.
oh no,
This
I mixed up.
This
your
2 years
years.
before I was born.
I was thinking
yes,
Luke's year,
Kelly was
sorry.
-2.
Yeah.
This is a movie that's dear to us from childhood.
Jesus.
I think
Me?
I
you
got it.
even-
don't know. I think so.
I got
But
it.
I've also thought that about other movies
Like
and then
Mike.
realized you've never
Does
seen
it-
them.
Like
Luke,
my-
you're so close.
Wait. If it's like
To like Mike? So
It's-
is Jesse
it's like-
Plemons in it?
Like Mike. Jesse Plemons is not in it.
wait.
does it have a big star as like and does
Yeah.
he happen to have like 12 kids?
Your brother does it too.
No.
It was cheap.
Oh,
I was
that's
thinking
a
cheap.
great pick.
So is it
Um,
about like basketball?
It's not about basketball, but you'll understand why I have it in the same category as like Mike.
Like
Did we
like-
watch it in school? Like, did mom
Yes.
play it in school?
Maniac
Yes.
Oh
McGee.
my god. Maniac
That's
McGee?
hilarious. Yes,
Maniac.
that's not Maniac.
What did we watch in school? What did we watch in school?
That was like Mike.
It no, not in themes, not anything. It's just a movie we watched in school. That's
Oh,
why I
okay.
said it
In
reminded me of
school-
like Mike.
We used. Okay.
The
Well,
pacifier.
we did not watch
Well,
that.
Great
it has
guess.
fire.
Did you watch
I was-
that in school?
No.
I'm
I
just
was
thinking
on
about
that
that
path
era.
of
I
it.
can't
Yeah.
remember what we actually watched in school.
Okay.
What it
God,
was in.
Big Cat Liar.
You're in the same
That's
category.
2003.
So
yeah, that
close.
was.
The main star of it was a star of a Disney Channel show.
Holes.
Yes.
Really?
Oh.
Yes.
I got it. Dooley Hill. Out came, I
Guys.
got possessed for a second.
So after I learned that After Hours broke my heart, Katie and I
Yeah.
just like went through like Disney Plus. I was making a list of like the movies I'm nostalgic for,
Ah.
and she brought up Holes, and I was like, "Ooh,
Wow.
you're onto something." So that's gonna be very fun.
That's
I think.
awesome.
I'm excited. I haven't
That's
watched that
great.
in so long.
Years, I know.
I actually
Um,
I saw the book at
Patricia.
Barnes and Noble, and so
Really?
like I thought about rereading it. I mean, but
Ooh.
I have so many. But I thought about it, so that's a really good pick. We were just talking about that
Yeah.
because we were watching Psych, so of course I have to mention.
I
Dooley
thought we
Hill
brought
being-
it up on the podcast, and I had to make sure we hadn't like done an episode
Ah.
on it, because I was like, I genuinely don't remember, because I remember us
Definitely
bringing
not.
it
The
up.
rattlesnake is gonna.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys
really-
want?
hiding from it.
Do you guys want to do our rankings with the
Oh yes.
two movies that we have? What was the
Yes.
last? Inspector Gadget. Okay, I forget. Oh, you
Solid
guys
pick.
are gonna have to remind me what the categories are because I don't have my book.
I really
with
think
me.
these two movies are equal in quality.
I
I,
agree.
I
That.
completely agree. Sad.
um,
I would say challengers.
Yeah.
Because there are parts where I'm like, oh, this is rough.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Right? And
has
then
to be.
inspect just because the other movie is Inspector
Yeah.
Gadget.
Yeah.
Disturbing. Oh, Inspector,
Inspector
Gadget.
Gadget for sure.
Inspector Gadget.
He howls like a monkey.
Yes.
There's parts of
Yeah.
that movie that like actually scared me as a kid too,
Me too.
but not scary parts. I like it wasn't meant to be scary. It was meant to be goofy, fun,
supposed to be
and it's
fun.
scary.
Yeah.
Unhinged.
Unhinged.
Huh.
Inspector-
it has to be Inspector Gadget, but
Inspector Gadget. This movie is wild.
yes.
It's wild.
Is wild.
And
Inspector Gadget is
yeah.
Inspector. And finally,
Uh-oh. Bad timing. We're gonna sit here and talk. It's very awkward when I just have to sit here and talk and wait for them to come back. I wonder if Luke's gonna come back first. We do live in the same place. Okay, so we're gonna be watching. I can't even
my,
pause it.
do you know that one meme that's like my
Oh.
favorite duo dynamic
coming back.
is a guy who realizes that he's gay but not that he realizes he's in love with his best friend but not that he's gay. That's
Yeah.
this movie. Except for not really because Patrick is both.
That is funny. We never said it once.
We never said gay until now.
We you guys cut out and then came back just for that last sentence, Kelly. So I don't know what the podcast caught.
Basically, we were making a Pride had passed and we didn't say gay.
Yeah, but did you hear about the best duo dynamic?
Who?
Who? One is guy who realizes he's gay, but not that he's in love with his best friend, and other who realizes he's in love with his best friend, but not that he's gay.
Yep.
But it
Basically,
doesn't exactly work because Patrick is both.
We'll call
yeah.
that the a separate piece paradox.
My God, that's perfect. That's perfect, and it is a paradox. Matt,
I salute you.
I salute. That's perfect, dude.
Oh no.
It's also an if we were villains paradox.
Oh,
I
yes.
need to read
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I've recommended that book to like 3 people now.
Good.
I don't think any of them read
That
it,
makes me happy.
but I suggested it.
That makes me
That's just living in the world nowadays.
Yeah. Okay, I'm stopping it.
Okay.
Okay.